Next topic. We talked about this a little bit last week. The next topic is about qualifying yourself for events. The reason I bring this topic and stuff up is because of that school event. And it just bode the question, once you hear certain events, do you take it just because you need the money? Do you take it because, it's exposure? Do you take it, because sometimes, and I don't know if you guys have had this before, sometimes your payment / reward / incentive, whatever, is exposure. So is exposure your main goal? Is it worth it to just get paid by exposure? Would you do a kids function if you're not a kids like DJ? Would you do a country function if you're a hip hop DJ? Would you do a classic rock class reunion if you're a hip hop DJ? I ask that because are these the gigs that you should be turning down? Because I get a lot of inquiries, guys. I get a lot of inquiries, and a lot of times I find myself not matching with the couples. Like this week alone, I think I had to turn down 2 events because they told me that they wanted predominantly slow music, and they told me that it was more of a country vibe. Now, I don't mind doing a country wedding. I don't mind. I have enough country music to where I can probably survive. And then most people that tell you that they want a country wedding end up letting you play some classics or something like that, kind of that pop and hip hop mixture, to where it's not hard rap, hard hip hop, but it's a little bit harder than pop would be. So they'll let you get away with some of that. And there's a lot of music that's in that space. But when it's like pure country, like 100% country, we're talking Randy Travis, we're talking, Garth Brooks, that old country, that sing along, whiskey drinking, country. I have to gracefully bow out of those. And I'm grateful that these couples tell me up front, this is what we want. This is what we expect. I'm glad they tell me that so that I can just politely tell them, hey, I don't think that I'm the right fit for your event. This is what I do. So whoever referred you to me probably saw me doing my thing over here, but I don't do it like this. And I already told you guys and stuff last week that, looking at this list and stuff over here, you can see that everything will be checked off except for the last thing on here, which is usually us. Everything will be checked off. Everything will be done, signed, sealed, delivered. So you have to make sure that you're able to qualify yourself when it comes to events. You have to make sure that you are a great fit for that, because another instance that can happen is if you take the gig and you get out there and you are, trying to cover music, trying to play what you thought the couple and stuff would like based on what their needs and stuff were, and then you have a dud. Now, I'm not going to say that you're going to have a dud. You're not going to have a dud on a couple that's hype. I'm just saying that you're more likely to have a dud if you're not familiar with the music, if the music is not in your wheelhouse for whatever reason, if you're not accustomed to playing that, if you don't have enough songs in that category, in that genre, you will be blitzed by people who will request those songs and want you to play those songs. If you're not ready for that, then that could lead to a disastrous gig. It really can. And I know this from experience. I know this from when I was with my previous company. Sometimes I would get thrown into gigs that just I was very unfamiliar with. and they didn't always turn out well. Some of them I was able to just, barely skate by. And I appreciate the exposure as far as allowing me to see where I lack at. But you're talking about somebody's big day. You can't be doing trial and runs on somebody's big day. You can do that with some equipment, but you can't do that with music. I mean, they get one shot at this. So all I say is when these gigs and stuff come in, you have to make sure, or when these inquiries and stuff come in, you have to make sure that you're giving them the opportunity for you guys to match, for you guys to have some type of connection in music. This weekend and stuff that I'm doing here, I'm not a big fan of the music that they like, but I know the music that they like. They like a lot more of the classics, as far as, their group is going to be an older group. So I'm going to give them fun classics, but that's not my wheelhouse. That's not where I thrive at. I thrive in more pop, hip hop, house type music. That's just where I thrive at, but they were recommended to me. So I feel like I'm going to be able to cover them and do a good job and stuff with them, especially based on the gig log that I was just editing and stuff, because it looked like it was kind of the same thing. She had a much older crowd. Everybody in this one coming up is 40 and above. And the one 2 weeks ago was, I think, about the same thing. 40 and above, with a sprinkle here and there of some early 30s. So that's all I wanted to tell you guys and stuff about, is just qualifying yourself and making sure that you're not just taking the gig just because you don't want it to be a bad gig. The worst thing you can do is take a gig and go out there and bomb, because these people have spent money in them. And then guess what? You've now taken the status of a DJ and you've brought it down. And in their eyes, it's like, whoop. It's like, girl, I had a DJ and stuff for my event, but it was not good. So now this bride over here that would have considered you is now like, oh, no DJ. It's just trickle effect. So just dropping some knowledge and stuff you guys wait.